Good morning, everybody. We're going to get the reverse half of yesterday's stream. This is going to be my commute down to the job site. I hope everybody's having a good morning. I'm waking up. Got my cup of coffee that you'll see in the short today. Hopefully the noise pollution isn't too bad. I've got my mount fixed to the middle of the dash, so hopefully we won't have any more falling down. It does look a lot less stable, though. Just like yesterday, I won't be reading chat while I'm driving, not even at stoplights. I'll be pulling out alongside of the highway every so often and check in with people, make sure everybody's having a good day. In the meantime, I hope that you enjoy some of Alaska's views. We should be out of town and up on the highway here before too long. We'll get out of this boring city and get out on the open road. Got about a little over a 2-hour commute. Hopefully the weather is nice the whole way. We'll be able to see some sky, see some mountains. Hope everybody's having a good morning wherever they're at in the world. I think we'll fit under this overpass if I had to take a guess. Look at that, you didn't fall off the dash this time. That's amazing. We're deep in the middle of construction season. There we go. I know this isn't exactly typical for my channel. Usually it's writing, but kind of getting a little bit more random lately. But everybody seemed to really enjoy the driving stream yesterday, so I figured I would do it again on my way back down to work. It's a pretty long commute, and I do a lot of it without listening to music anyway. Yeah, this one's a lot less stable though. It's a lot shakier up on this mount that I have made. I don't know if I like that. I'll have to fix that. Hopefully it'll be okay when we get out on the road, but it doesn't look like it's going to behave. When I pull over to stop, I'll see if I can adjust that. It's one thing I was worried about. I don't have a proper dash mount. I've kind of made one, have it clamped in place. It's kind of working, but I'm seeing a lot of like wiggle in the setup. So hopefully the video isn't super shaky. Looks like it probably is. hope everybody's having a good morning. I was pretty excited to see the positivity that came out of last night's stream of the commute home. So I know the mount seems worse today, but at least it's a little more stable. It still shakes a lot, but at least you guys aren't falling off the dash this morning. Once we get out of town a little ways, it'll be just wide open highway. We'll get out of those boring stoplights and stuff. But I know there's a few pullouts on the highway where I'll be pulling over to check in on chat. I'm not going to be reading it while I'm driving. But that's just legalities and stuff. Even at stoplights, I'm technically not supposed to. I'll pull over a few times on the highway and check in, see how everybody's doing. In the meantime, I know it's kind of boring right now. We're in the city, but when we get out on the highway, hopefully it gets a little bit prettier. We get more of Alaska's views. We're going to be driving down the Parks Highway. It's about a 2-hour commute to where I'm headed. There's going to be one bumpy spot in the signal. We're going to lose cell for probably about 5 miles when we first leave town. And I'll just stay on the stream and reconnect as service comes back. If things drop out, I will be back. I'll try to keep talking. I know I hope that this is acceptable, but I do a lot of this stuff by myself anyway when I'm driving. Like I do a lot of just talking and driving. I've gotten pretty used to driving with no other sound. Like my work truck has the radio disabled, so I drive without music all day in the work truck, and I've just started doing that in my personal vehicles as well. I actually prefer driving in silence to driving with music a lot of the time. And I do a lot more talking to myself later in the day. I'm still waking up. I've still got my coffee to get through this morning, but I brought a cup from home, and I already got gas before I turned stream on, so we should be good to go. And I'm not usually a driving channel, not usually a driving stream. This just went over really well, and I had a lot of fun. It was like I was talking to somebody. It's like having somebody ride with me. That helped a lot for me. It didn't feel bad, I guess I'll put it that way. I enjoyed it. I decided I would do it again this morning on my way down to work. I don't usually drive back and forth more than once a week. I work out of town. I work remotely, so I usually only come back at the end of the week or in the middle of the week to do errands and stuff. But I wanted to come back and get some quality time in. I've had a busy couple of weeks. Kind of missed out on time with my dogs and my partner. So sometimes you just get in the car and go home. Yeah, I'm gonna have to stabilize this mount. It's a little bit too shaky for me. I'll see if I can make that any better here shortly. I'll pull into the next gas station and see if I can stabilize this mount at all. Sorry for the shaking, everybody. Yesterday I was doing it without a mount at all, and I had it just kind of leaning up against the windshield, and it was fine until I got into town and started stopping and accelerating, and it was not fine. So I rigged up this little mount when I got home last night out of a tripod top and a clamp. I know there's a lot of my viewers that when I usually stream, it's too late in the day for them. I'm in Alaska, so I'm about 4 hours behind the East Coast. Where it seems to be a lot of my viewers are at the East Coast. So I was hoping to catch some of them in this morning stream, maybe before work or on the way to work. I usually do poetry on stream. I do writing and reading, prompt poems. It's been a lot of fun. I've just been really busy. I get off work and I don't want to turn my brain into writing, so the last couple streams have been me just trying other stuff. I did one where I was just walking around the neighborhood, talking to myself, talking to chat. That was a lot of fun, just hanging out. And the one I did yesterday was the opposite of this drive, where I was driving home. Oh, ouch. The coffee is still very hot. Yeah, I could probably lower the phone and the mount a little bit and get rid of a lot of the shaking. I have it up real high to try to get more of the sky and more of the road and the hood of my car. That was something I was struggling with last night. It kept auto-focusing onto the hood, and the road was blurry. It didn't make sense to me. So I was trying to eliminate that by keeping the phone angled kind of higher. It's really top-heavy. Probably fix that relatively easily. I'll pull into Esther Gas coming up here around the corner. I'll see if I can get the camera stabilized and check in with everybody. I see chat kind of going, but I'm not really paying attention to it. I'm watching the road. I appreciate everybody hanging out. I hope everybody's having a good morning. Gas just went down. At least where I gassed up in town, it was a lot cheaper than I was expecting it to be. So hopefully it's coming down to be normal for the summer season anyway. It usually gets a lot cheaper in the summer. It goes up like $1.50 a gallon in the winter time. Yeah, it's still $3.79 out here. That's not too bad. About 20 cents cheaper than last week. Tater and Tater Tot Garage. Hi, good morning. I hope you're having a good morning. Lisa Crawford. Do you listen to music on the way? No, I don't. I drive. I just raw dog the drive in silence. I don't know if you were here before when I was talking about my work truck has the radio disabled, so I've gotten pretty used to driving without music, even in my personals. I don't mind the shaking. I appreciate you, Tater Tot. I'm gonna try to stabilize it. Let's see if I can do something like this. If that still keeps focus on the road. Seems to. Maybe even a little angled. Good morning, Richard. Good to see you. I hope you're having a good drive wherever you're at, or hopefully you're waking up and getting rolling. All right, I got that thing kind of stabilized. I already gassed up at another gas station, so I don't actually need to stay stopped. But hopefully that stabilizes the camera a little bit, and I'll get back on the road. Should stabilize it just by getting moved. I moved it a lot lower in the case, so it's grabbing about the middle of the phone rather than the bottom quarter of it. I pulled all my tricks out to try to get my service to not drop today, like yesterday. Everything is fully charged, helping with the full battery. It should hold up a little better. I don't know if that's just a superstition or if that's real life, but it feels like when your phone has less battery, the service gets crappier. Like it powers down the antenna or something. At least in my experience, that's how I felt. I don't know how true that is, but it certainly feels that way. This first like 15 miles out of town is kind of crappy for cell service, so the stream might drop. If it does, I mean it's not if, it's when. But when it does, I'll be reconnecting when my service gets better. Just bear with me. If you want to hang out for the drive, I appreciate you. Looks like it's going to be a beautiful morning. We're going to get out from under this rain cloud, and it should be pretty smooth sailing after that. Richard, if you're here and if you were watching the stream yesterday, what do you think of this angle versus what there was before? I know you listen a lot. I don't know how much of last night you were actually watching versus listening. This is the mount setup that I kind of rigged up to put on my dash. It's kind of angled a little bit funny, but it seems to be holding pretty well. Works good. It's pretty rednecky looking, but it works. It's a lot less rednecky than what my first problem was, or my first thought process was. I wanted to drill a hole in my dash and put a tripod in it. Try this. Keep the power tool used to a minimum. I should be back to normal streaming this evening. I'm going to try and do a regular poetry stream. If I get off work in time, I'll try to get the AC unit fixed in my camper so it's not quite so brutal in there. I think I'd like to start doing these streams for the commute, and there we go. Hopefully I'll reconnect. There, okay. Seems like we're back. I hope so, anyway. I picked up this budget booster for my cell service. Hopefully that works. Because it didn't drop out quite as bad as I thought I would last night on the drive. I had this happy self-experience. You know if it works or if it's just a powered antenna placebo effect. It's working pretty good. Still dropped out there for a minute, but I'm back now, it looks like. Oh, it's a rainbow. Maybe. I just, yeah. That sun is trying real hard to break through. Yeah, moving the phone down seems to really have helped that shaking. I know that now I just need to make sure I remember to hook up my microphone. I'm like a proper little streamer. I did bring it with me, so I should have a good audio for tonight's stream. I know this car is not going to ride quiet. I have the fan turned all the way off, so there's no blower sounds. And I don't know how much of it comes through. I didn't watch that. I don't think I can do it on just one device. It sounds like I need to have another device watching my chat and then reading the text to me. And I'd have to have it set up where it's just me listening to stuff. So I didn't broadcast that out in the world. Okay, yeah. Well, we're going to catch the lip of this rain cloud, but I think I'm still going to lose some frames in the worst spots. A little booster. So if anybody has any good, like, I don't know if there's like a co-pilot app or something that can read chat off to me that I could be running as an app, that would be very cool. All the, like, Googling I was trying to do, it sounds like I need a second device. A little booster is trying, but once we get through these hills, service stays pretty consistent for a while. Just bear with me for the bumpy bits in the beginning, and it'll be smooth sailing after that. I just don't have a big enough cell booster, I suppose. It's just this little crappy, as seen on TV turd. Say this angle has a lot more of the windshield in view. A a little bit further away from the glass, you can see more of the windshield. Before, the rain was only messing with it when it was really pouring, and now it's messing with it almost immediately. I could get like some background music track and just have that playing while I'm doing this kind of a stream. It might be kind of some like ASMR, soothing content. Used to love watching the raindrops race off the windshield when I was a kid. Wondering which one was going to win. It looks like the window has stolen my focus rather than the road. It's kind of frustrating. No, it's Rain-X haze. There we go. Oh, come on. Just can't win. Oh, you just focus on the road. Those raindrops aren't that exciting. There we go. Looks like it's been raining pretty heavy here. The road's wet. There's water in the rumble strips. Kind of like last night. And if you're just tuning in, this is the Parks Highway, making the trip between Fairbanks and Keeley, Alaska. Mile 332. Got 106 miles to go to the destination, and another few minutes to get to where my camper's at. Hopefully that rumble strip woke everybody up. There we go. That exploded tire we passed last night on the way into town. Like the bigger chunks of it got taken out. Oh man. I don't know how wet is too wet for a motorcycle to be riding on the highway, but I always worry when I see a motorcycle and the road's wet, and I know that he's riding in the rain. I don't know what it takes to hydroplane a bike like that, but I still worry. I had a lot of friends that ride motorcycles. Had a family member break his leg last year on a motorcycle. I find them fairly intimidating just as a person. I didn't grow up around them. My mom's rule when I was a kid, if if it had a motor, it had to have at least four wheels for me to be allowed in it. So I never really got on a dirt bike. I never got on a three-wheeler. My grandma had an old four-wheeler that I got to ride around, but it was like a Honda 300. It was like a work four-wheeler. It wasn't for anything but hauling stuff around the property. When you're a little kid, it's like the biggest machine in the world. We're coming up on the mile markers or landmarks. Yeah, landmarks. This little spot up here on the right is going to be Skinny Dick's halfway in. The guy's name that owns it. I guess the camera didn't get very much of it there, but Skinny Dick was the guy who used to run that place. It was a bar, hotel kind of place. It's pretty cool. There's a lot of merch and shirts and stuff. They really use his name on it. Skinny Dick's halfway in. And we're halfway between Fairbanks and Indiana. That's why it's the halfway in. One of my other friends has the pool table that was out of that bar. I helped him load that up like almost a year and a half ago now. It's kind of a cool piece of Alaskan history. I don't know how wowing it is just to see the sky up here, but people seem pretty amazed with it. When I posted a picture at like almost 2 in the morning and the sky looked just like this, a little bit dimmer, and you wouldn't even know it's a different stream than last night, judging by the sky, except we're going the other way. We're driving away from the sun. We're coming up on, I guess it's a few miles up still yet, but they're coming up on a pullout where I'll check chat and get caught up with everybody. Here we go. I'll pull in here and get caught up. Take a breather. Still got about an hour before I need to call into my work meeting, so pull in here and see how everybody's doing. Put it in the park. All right, let's do some scrolling. Oh, cool. All right. Good morning, Victoria. Thank you. I'm doing my best to drive safe. I've built up a mount that holds the phone so it's not going to fall off the dash like yesterday. Yeah. How beautiful. Thank you, Julia. Yeah, it's the scenery up here is just unmatched, I think. Good morning. Good morning, Mother of Nerdlings. It's 10:30 a.m. It must be early for you. Yeah, it's 6:30 for me. It just turned 6:30. I got up at about 5:15. Started getting ready to go. Got everything put together and started the commute. I pulled into the gas station and left town. Oh, about 40 minutes ago, 45 minutes ago, something like that. All right, and that's me caught up. I'm gonna get back going. I hope everybody's having a good morning and enjoying the Alaskan morning. I will, Mother. I'm only reading chat when I stop. no distraction. I've got a fresh cup of coffee. We're all good. Oh, I didn't scroll up far enough. Thank you for the feedback, Richard. I saw it, but I didn't comment on it. I thought I misplaced the message as one that I had responded to already, but thank you for that feedback. I wish there was a way for me to put this setup I've got, this little clamp that I made up, into that spot where the phone was yesterday. Like a little closer to the windshield, I think would be ideal. This this car has a little lip over the CD player that's just perfect to put a clamp on. Now that I got the shaking to be less, I like it a lot more. I know when I was first getting ready to leave town, my phone was shaking all over the place. I had the phone up real high in the mount, trying to minimize the view of the actual car and maximize the view of the hood, and all I did was make the phone shake around like it was having an earthquake constantly. And it still moves a little bit, but that's going to be the case. I don't have a gimbal or I don't have a proper stabilizer. This is just a C clamp on a tripod mount. Or not a C clamp, a grip clamp. Now that we're through the bumpy parts of service, there's one more spot I'll lose signal on the drive, but it should come back fairly quickly. Just gotta keep climbing through the hills. We'll get up over the other side, get back down onto the flat land, and it'll all open up, get out of the trees. Pinball Alley, we're going down those S curves from yesterday. This guardrail on the left-hand side here is the one where I had that big rig pulling double trailers. He was down over the edge on the left, and his trailers were sticking straight up over the road. It's pretty scary. Responsible for a lot of accidents. Downhill, highway speed, curve into curve into curve into curve. Yeah, I don't know if you were in or listening last night, being the other truck driver in chat, but he was okay. I still don't know how he made it over the guardrail, but his big rig was like a full 53-foot trailer down underneath the second trailer that was sticking up over the highway. So I don't know how big that drop is, but he had, I think it was a 53 and a 40 or a 53 and a 45-foot trailer, and only about 15 feet of that second trailer were sticking up over the guardrail. The driver was unharmed as far as I'm aware, which is really good. They had the road kind of shut down, and they were flagging cars through. Being a cheeky person, I got my camera out and recorded as I was driving through, and it just had like a 3-second clip of the trailer going by the window of the car, because I was doing it from my driver's side window. cool. I didn't realize how many drivers we actually have in the community. So a few truck drivers. We've got the Red Bull kart racer. A lot of drivers. I was laughing really hard last night after I got home. The folks that thought I was a truck driver that hadn't seen my content before. I'm not trying to like shoe in on that niche. I do have a Class A, so minus the air brakes and the trailer and all the liability. I'm kind of doing the same stuff. That was satire. I'm not trying to mock anybody's profession here, Richard. I got my Class A to be an equipment operator. I've never driven over the road. I've never hauled a trailer down the highway that wasn't a non-for-hire private trailer. I think if I was a younger person, like a younger man, and I had gotten my Class A, and I wanted to get the hell out of Alaska, I would probably try that, like over the road or being part of like one of the 24-hour crews where you sleep, someone else drives. I think it'd be I don't know, that sounds really cool to me for a while. It's not something I would want to do forever. I imagine the life would get stale for what I like to do. I bet it all depends on the partner too, the teammate in that situation. If you got somebody that you like hanging out with, it'd be like one big road trip. I feel like. I don't actually know. That's just me making a generalization. It's the hillbilly way. At least we don't try to hide it here. Kind of lucked out the last couple trips. Been pretty quiet highways both directions. Not a Chrysler 300 for sale? Oh man, I used to think those cars were super cool. At least when I was playing Grand Theft Auto, I would always steal the one that looked like that. I think it's a cool looking car. All right, we're at the next check-in spot. Just quick. That last check-in was only like seven chats, so we can pop in, get checked in, and keep rolling. I'm gonna have to end stream about 7:30 for me, so about 45 minutes, maybe a little more. Let's see. Looks like Maine. I must have missed that one before. Absolutely no problem. It still looks fine. The chat covers the dashboard. I like that. Bridget Dennery says, "Shut it." Oh man. Well, that wasn't very nice. I hope that was worth it. Goodbye, friend. Want to pop in and be rude? You can pop right back out. Appreciate you. Hey, Bubblegup. I hope you're having a good morning. The mic is a little messed up, not gonna lie. Well, yeah, I don't have my actual mic plugged in. Oh, there's probably a lot of road noise. Let's see. I can try to. Yeah, so it's just using the phone mic. Oh, that's gonna be real shaky again. All right. I built this little mount last night after last night's stream, and it's a prototype. It could definitely be improved on. Yeah, the road noise in this car is pretty bad. My exhaust is coming off at the manifold, so it's very loud going down the highway. I was worried about that before I started the stream last night. It's good to see you, Bubblegup. I was just talking about you. I don't know if you were in chat for that, but talking about all the drivers that have popped into my stream, and it's kind of cool because I don't really think of myself as a driving like channel or content, but this is a lot of fun. I took a picture of the mount. Okay, that was the last message I'm going to read now that I'm driving. I caught myself. But I took a picture of the mount, and I'll probably post it in the Discord in one of those channels in there when I get going. I got a picture of it on another device that I'll have to send to my personal phone. It's pretty simple. It does the job. I stole the tripod top, like the camera mounting portion, off the top of one of my cheap tripods, and then I have a grip clamp from my green screen setup that I was using. Definitely be improved upon. The next check-in is the other side of Indiana, so there's going to be a spot where my service drops out for a couple of miles, maybe not even a full 2 miles. I'll be back when that happens. I wish the little mount that I bought to try to mount it in the center of the dash so that I could turn the phone would work correctly, but it's not really the right style. It's made for the edge of the desk. It's roadkill. It's one of the best parts about driving this highway this time of day is you've got the sun at your back. You're not driving into it. If you leave a little later in the morning, you'll end up driving right into the sun both ways, on the way down and on the way back up. If you drive back at the end of the shift. Yeah. I'll have to rig up a way for this clamp to work where I can actually use my little auxiliary mic. It might work better. I think bad audio is the quickest way to kill a stream, especially on my kind of channel. I'm sorry for that. If the audio is screwy. I appreciate you letting me know. Might have to wait until the next bed to come back. Comes back pretty strong right around this corner. There we go. Cool. So now we're through all the dead spots. As far as I'm aware, should be good connections the whole rest of the way. We're out from under the rain clouds. We've got nothing but blue sky. It's going to be a good day. I still have to make my check-in short today, but now I've got something to talk about. I don't know if I can link live streams to short content, though. I don't think I can. It's got to be a standalone video. At least we're into the pretty stuff now. We're through the hills. It's going to open up. I wish the commute had more mountains, but you can't really see them when everything is greened up. You get really crowded in. That pullout's crowded this morning. We're getting ready to go over the Nenana Bridge. I think this is the longest one on the trip, at least on this section of the highway. It's a two-segment. Here we go. Oh, yeah. That's a memory. I forgot about that until just now, so thanks for that. I appreciate you. Yuck. Inedible would be the word I would use for that. I can't believe somebody came up and crushed that. Really? You needed to pull out in front of me, and then we're actually going to go the speed limit? Okay. I appreciate you. You're probably a lot faster than me when you actually use your gas pedal, so I'll let you do what you're going to do. Okay. What the fuck are we doing here? pretty good for time. I'm a little over an hour in to the drive, and I've got a end stream about 40 minutes from now. I'll pull off. There's a pretty big pull out with like a rest stop and everything here, a little ways up the road. I'll pull in there and get caught up with Chad again. Doing pretty good. I've been running a little over an hour. That's good. This is also my first stream at this time of day, so I've been pretty impressed. Thank you all for showing up. I appreciate being here. I had hoped to catch some of the people from my East Coast viewership, and some of them have popped in, but there are a lot of people that always talk about how, oh, it's just too late. I missed your stream. I can't make it that time of day. Okay, well, I'll change a couple times today anyway. I'm still planning on doing a regular poetry stream tonight. I'm going to do a traditional prompt poem stream this evening after I get off work. And then tomorrow, I'll be doing a daytime stream because I work tomorrow night. So we're going to get a Wednesday stream. We have 2 streams today. We did a stream last night. We're going to be doing big number time this week. Here we go. 2. Good. One of my old Subarus lives in that driveway just back there. There's a guy that lives down here. He is only referred to by people in town as the Subaru guy. He's almost always got one for sale at the end of the driveway. I'm surprised he doesn't have one there this time of year. He's probably got one he's working on. It'll be closer to fall time that'll come out. That pullout's a little further away than I thought. Just a couple of miles though. I guess it's probably about 10 miles up. I get the railroad milepost and the highway milepost screwed up in my head because I'm in the part of the world where they're kind of interchangeable, but there's like 100-mile difference between the railroad milepost and the highway milepost. A little bit of change associated with that too. So even if I know right where something is on the highway, I don't necessarily remember the exact milepost. It's kind of funny to me. I drive this road a lot. I should just have that stuff like rain bands in the back of my mind. cloud bank. Looks like it's going to try and rain on me again today. I don't want that. Probably not till this afternoon, though. That thunderstorm we drove through is probably going to roll all the way down and catch me. Fish-free passing lane. I think at the end of these passing lanes, I've got another pull-out where I'll pull over and get caught up with chat. I'll answer questions and catch up with everybody. I'm not actively reading chat while I'm driving. I can see the messages coming in, but I'm not reading them until I get pulled over here. There we go. Now we can see some mountains coming into the view. A long ways off, but they're there. It's one of the things I was so blown away about when I was visiting family in North Dakota and Minnesota. You get into this big open flatland, and there's just nothing at the edges. It's just flat. It goes on forever. If you stand on the hood of the truck, you can see the next state. Just blew me away every time. $7 o'clock. Got a half an hour left in stream. I don't think I'll be done with the commute when I have to end stream, but I've got a hard deadline, and I've got it pretty well mapped out in my head, but stopping to touch base with Chad and talk to people adds a few minutes every time, and the more I do it, the further away from my target I get for time-wise, but I just haven't factored that in. I haven't done that before on the drive before yesterday, so I'm still learning how much time I need to allow myself to be on time and still check in with Chad. And I think I give myself an extra like half hour should be enough. That would mean I'd be leaving the house at like 5:20. 5:30, something like that. This passing lane I'm thinking of, at the end of it is the big pullout. I know at the end of these flatlands where we get back into the trees, there's a big proper truckers pullout. Usually gets filled up motorhomes, but it's actually like a bus stop, stretch your legs spot for the big tour buses. Wrong again. I'm gonna have to pay attention. I know it's like mile 287. I thought it was mile 287. Pretty close to that, one way or the other. The mile marker that I remember that's adjacent to it is 283 and a half. And I know it's a little ways down the road from that pullout. So I'm assuming it's like 2 or 3 miles down the road. We're at 291, so yeah, it's still 3 or 4 miles up the highway from me. That'll be where I pull in and check chat, catch up with everybody. In the meantime, I hope the view is worth it. Maybe someday I'll have a quieter car and the road noise won't be quite so bad. I know that's got to be rough. I'm going to have to watch back the last stream and see how the road noise is compared to this one. I wonder if it's catching some vibration from the clamp. It's right below where my microphone is on the phone. Heading into the Denali Borough. And we are officially in the Denali Borough. Oh, all right, you're in a hurry. Go ahead. Go ahead, big guy. I've got the high country Silverado. It's made for going fast. As long as you're not like the person last night that couldn't pick a lane, that's fine. Oh, coming around the corner and then that sun, we're turning into it now. We're kind of going crossways across the state. Big ass curves. You end up driving into the sun. Just a little later in the morning we'll be driving right into it. I wonder if my phone will do a time lapse, like a proper time lapse photo. That would be pretty cool to get a time lapse of the sun and kind of show what it does up here for the folks that aren't in Alaska. I've kind of talked about it on stream a little bit, but that comes up quick. Good morning, old timer. Pull over here where the bus stop is. It says no parking. Perfect. That doesn't apply to me. All right. Let's see. Let's get a picture of the mount here. I'll pull the phone out of the mount. We'll get a quick shot of that. If you're still here, Richard. It's just this, like the top of a tripod setup, and then this big grippy clamp I've got the phone that sits like right against this little rubber part of the grip to kind of stabilize it. Originally, I had it like up here with just the bottom of my phone, and that was where it was real shaky. I loosened this and just dropped it down, so it's sitting on top of this clamp. It seems to have stabilized it pretty well, but it's kind of janky, but I mean it works. Yeah. Let's see. Let me flip this around. Good morning, everybody. I'm still waking up. John Arvoy, did you just shat your pants? Did you say shat because you were worried about shit getting censored? What was there a sound that happened, or are you just trolling me? That was probably the last time I pulled into the pullout, so I'm not sure. Maybe. I am drinking coffee. I don't have a good answer for you. I still think of the bad pizza. Yeah, yuck. Garbage pizza was the proper name for that place. I never noticed the railroad ones, honestly. So those mile markers aren't on the highway. They're actually alongside the rail. That's what I'm talking about. But I do a lot of driving on the rail during the day, so I know where a lot of my assets are based on the mile marker. Like that's where all of my detectors, my crossings are annotated by what milepost they're at to the 10th decimal. Like 395.2. I know exactly where that is on the railroad tracks, but I get so much brain power dedicated to memorizing those mileposts that I forget like the highway mile markers, like where stuff is there. Have a good practice, Bubblegut. Thanks for hanging out while you can. Hopefully I'll find a way to make the audio a little better for the future. And I'll have my actual microphone for the poetry stream tonight, so hopefully the audio for that will be good. Maybe we'll have to go somewhere and do like a nature stream for poetry writing. That might be kind of fun. Find somewhere cool to be. All right, I'm caught up. I'm going to flip you back around and get rolling. I've got about 20 minutes left to stream, and it's going to be a pretty abrupt end. I'm going to have to be on duty at 7:30, so I've got to end what I'm doing and get signed in and do all that stuff. But for now, enjoy the view. Oh, this thing super tight. All right, you have a good rest, Richard. Recharge. Thank you for hanging out. I appreciate you being here. I'll see you this evening. All right. That'll probably be my last chat check-in before stream ends. I might pull over just off the side of the road and do a quick sign-off and check in with some last messages that come in, but this might be the morning trooper. No, I guess not. He's got a white hood. It looks like trooper headlights from a distance. It's a black tailgate. That counts for something, right? Now back to the soothing ASMR of shitbox going down the highway. I know it's not exactly relaxing. Thank you for choosing to be here with me. You don't have a choice. This is the commuter that I have currently until I can finally pull the trigger and get something different. It's hard to beat the price tag. Not in gas. I could definitely just get something that's more efficient in gas pretty easily. Giant pavement brakes from the other side of the road. the first pass of the stream. Let's go. An hour and 20 minutes in. Oh, I realized I never responded to one of those messages. My commute usually starts at like 5:30, Robert. When I'm doing the drive down in the morning, my alarm goes off at like 5:05, 5:10, and I get up, make a cup of coffee, usually make a couple of eggs, and I try to be in the car pulling out of the driveway for like 5:30. Try to allow myself enough time. By the time I usually pull out of the driveway, it's like 5:15, closer to 6 o'clock. But my target is to be leaving my house at 5:30. Not ready for them to come through and trim back the dishes, though. A very short line of sight if something comes out of the brush. The biggest thing to worry about up here is moose, but any kind of wildlife. Usually the state comes through and trims back the ditches so we have clear line of sight all the way to the trees. It's kind of amazing how quick a moose can become something that's in front of you on the road. It happens pretty fast. Probably be the best case scenario for this little car. Have it meet up with a moose. And I wouldn't have to hassle with trying to sell it. I do need to get something else for this commute. This little car does the best it can, but it's old and tired. Guys usually got some propaganda at the end of this driveway. Let's see, looks like there's not any right now. wonder why the shaking got bad again. Not as bad as before, but worse than it just was. I guess the road is just a little bit bumpier too. It's got these patch jobs every like 20 or 30 feet. Trying to lay highway over a big frost heave or like swamp, just a constant battle. I know a lot of people I've talked to from out of state, they talk about how shitty our highways are up here, considering how much driving Alaskans have to do. I didn't really know what they were talking about until I was on vacation and drove on actual highways. Not a single crack, not a single pothole. If there is something wrong, they get fixed pretty promptly. Down to the 10-minute timer mark. About 10 minutes left to stream. Well, probably closer to like 8. Probably shut the stream down a couple minutes before the 7:30 mark. I hope that it has been an enjoyable morning for all of you that have stopped in. I don't know if Sasquatch makes it up this far north. The Pacific Northwest fascination with Bigfoot was something new to me when I went down to Seattle for the first time. I hadn't ever experienced that level of fascination with Sasquatch before. I guess we're technically Pacific Northwest, but I think we're past that extreme. But I suppose if he was going to be anywhere, or it was going to be anywhere, I'd be up here or Canada. Yeah, I'll have to do some diagnosing and see if I can find anything to help with the audio. I know the road noise is terrible. I can probably crawl under the car and try to fix the exhaust. That might be something worth doing. I'm gonna keep driving this car for a while. Sounds like a diesel or like a gasser with a broken exhaust. One of my old vehicles I drove when I was a teenager, a lifted Jeep Cherokee that someone had sawzalled off the manifold, and it sounded really badass, but it was a little four-banger motor. It sounded loud, but it sure as hell wasn't fast. I did like that car quite a bit. It was one of my first stick shifts, what started my stick shift journey. I traded my Ford pickup for it, and I didn't really know how to drive stick when I made the trade, so I spent a lot of time in the grocery store parking lot before I ended up headed out onto the road to go home. I'd driven stick like twice before and never on an actual road system. It's just like around the farm, like a tractor. I knew how to do it, kind of. I made myself learn because I traded my truck away, and the Jeep that I had, it was a stick, so I had to learn how to drive stick to get home. Since then, I think this Kia that I'm in now is the only automatic I've had since then, and it was given to me. The 3 vehicles I've bought in my life since then have been manuals. It's my favorite way to drive. All right, I'll hit the next pull out, get caught up, say goodbye. We'll wrap stream up here pretty shortly. I appreciate everybody being here. I'll flip the camera around and say goodbye. I suppose I could turn this thing, but I'll just pull into a pull out and do it so I'm not monkeying with it while I'm driving. Next rest area for 32 months. That's not true. I guess what defines a rest area? Does it have to have like a porta potty? Is that what makes it a rest area? There's little pull outs all over the place. There's one right at the other side of this bridge. Yeah, there is. And that's it for me, everybody. I'll go through and check chat real quick, but it looks like I didn't miss any messages. Hope you guys have a good day. Thank you, Rachel. I will watch out for Sasquatch. All right, we'll see you for tonight's stream. I'll be doing a prompt poem stream where I'm going to be taking prompts from chat and writing short poems about them. I hope that you all have a good rest of your day. I've got to get to work. Take care.